What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jobbers and Goons, and I have a doubleheader today. In the morning time, we have this, which is why the John Kent slander needs to just die. It's gotta go. All right, I'm here to defend the boy. On top of that, tonight we have a what if Master Chief was in Warhammer 40K, and that's gonna be a super fun one to analyze. But before we get started, make sure to smash the like button. Let's set this to 300 plus likes. That would be absolutely amazing if you love content like this. And the likes help get my content into the algorithm and helps my channel grow. Make sure to subscribe as well if you haven't already and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of my content. Also, check out the Discord where we do games, prizes, giveaways, D&Ds, and more. And if you want to talk purchases, hit me up, as well as you can check out the different memberships on my YouTube channel. Now, getting into this topic, we need to discuss why Jonathan Kent is actually an amazing character. I have turned into quite the John Kent fan, and I'm here to advocate for why people need to stop hating on him. First of all, I feel like Jonathan Kent got turned into an accused character of being a part of a woke agenda because he's gay or he's bi or whatever they did with him, right? They added that, and suddenly he was kind of blacklisted by the casual fans as just a piece of a woke agenda. No, Jonathan Kent's actually fucking dope. And let me remind you people that Midnighter's gay. So relax. Like in DC, gay characters tend to do goat shit. So just because you might have a couple woke pieces of material doesn't mean they all are. Jonathan Kent is actually an incredibly important character moving forward in DC, and one I personally love reading about, and I'm going to explain why. For one, we need to talk about the mantle that Jonathan Kent is forced to bear and why it's so crazy that he bears it so well. It has long been established in a running theme that throughout the DC multiverse, no other form of power is higher than that of hope. Even back in the day with Morpheus, he said, "What's the answer to the end of everything? Oblivion, absolute nothingness? Hope." What is hope in DC Comics? Hope is Superman. That S on his chest, that symbol, it means way more than we could possibly imagine. Phantom Stranger said it himself once Superman broke through him. He said, even the heavens can't really prevent the kind of hope that radiates from someone like Superman. It's truly like, if there's anyone that can save the day, it's Superman. That's the belief. That's what's going on. So, this mantle, I would argue, this necessity to be the savior of everybody, the hope, the true hope, the last hope, that kind of pressure is insane to even try to quantify. You really can't. You truly can't. It's even enough to help repel the great darkness. That's how insane the power of hope is in DC. Yet, young Jonathan Kent was born into this. He was born into the legacy of the greatest hero in comic books. He literally has to live up to the mantle itself while simultaneously living up to everything his father has accomplished up to now. That's insane to think about. There is no greater, I would argue there's no greater pressure on a comic book character ever. He has to not only be everyone's hope and salvation, but he's different than other Superman type characters because he's literally his father's son. He's Clark Kent's son. And he has to live up to what Clark Kent has done, which, unfortunately for him, is a lot of bullshit throughout comics. I mean, check history. He's fucking done everything. So, he has all this pressure. And he has all these things he has to get done. And he still goes forth as an amazing hero. Another awesome aspect of his character that people don't appreciate enough is he has a completely unique perspective to what Superman had growing up. First of all, They're growing up in completely separate generations with a completely different landscape. I mean, when Superman was coming up, heroes weren't big. There wasn't one fuck ton of superheroes with different abilities and all that. There wasn't a fuck ton of different villains. It was Superman was pretty much the OG. And then other shit came along. John Kent's thrown into the world with everything established and pretty much endless heroes and villains, right? Endless lore. An endless multiverse. It's insane. So it's a completely different environment from not just the home, but on a cosmic scale than what Clark Kent grew up in. So he has a completely unique perspective than Superman. And then we gotta accompany this with who his Batman is. John's version of Batman, which you gotta admit, Batman and Superman are just tied together in lore and mythically forever. They just are. They're best friends whether they admit it or not. And his version of Batman is Damian Wayne. Now, why is that a big deal? The mentality of Damian is way different than Bruce Wayne. Damian grew up with the League of Assassins under the watchful eye of his grandfather, Ra's al Ghul, arguably the most prolific killer ever, except for Vandal Savage. So you have this ancient warrior, this ancient leader of one of the scariest ninja / assassin groups to exist in the verse. He's raised in that. Plus, he has the genes of both the Ghouls and Bruce Wayne. He then goes on to later meet his father and train under his father. So you have a stone cold trained killer with the intellect of Batman growing up next to John Kent. Why is this important? His morality, his decision making, his existence as someone who's supposed to be hope and a constant symbol of peace, that's in constant flux for him mentally because Damian's a super gremlin. There's no other way to put it. He's a fucking savage. And he's out here doing crazy shit sometimes. And he's constantly trying to get John down for crazy shit. So we have so much more for potential for off-the-wall Superman shit with John Kent because of his environment, how he's raised, and who he's coming up with and where he's coming up currently. He's also already had goated moments that clearly display he's an amazing character. So, for one, I know it's not technically canon, but in Deceased, when Superman becomes contaminated with the anti-life virus, and pretty much everyone's doomed because who the fuck's gonna stop a bloodlusted, contaminated Superman? Jonathan looks at his mother and says, "It's okay, Mom. I know who I am." And he shows her his super suit. And he flies off to space to meet bloodlusted Superman to save the world because he was the last hope. And when he clashed with this Superman, it said, in that moment, Superman would have been proud. On top of this, in canon, with Dark Crisis, there was a moment in which Doomsday returned and Jonathan Kent made a final stand against Doomsday, was perfectly willing to die, fighting against Doomsday. Now, further context for why this was insane, this Doomsday is obviously stronger than the other Doomsdays. We know when Doomsday comes back, he's stronger, more evolved, better than ever. When he returns, he battles Jonathan Kent, and Kent held him off by himself, and eventually his dad comes to help put away Doomsday, because Doomsday was going to kill him. But to face a Doomsday that's stronger than a Doomsday who literally scared Darkseid. Darkseid didn't want to fight him. Darkseid didn't want no problems. Darkseid damn sure didn't want the hands. Didn't want the 1v1. He had a god scared. But little Jonathan Kent was not scared. I'm telling you guys, for those that just auto-hated on John Kent and assumed he's like a woke piece of trash art, that's not the case at all. Little John Kent is a badass, and he has the potential to give us some of the greatest Superman stories we've ever seen. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of Jonathan Kent. If you agree that he's a dynamic character, let me know in the comment section down below. If you're still hating on the boy, let me know why in the comment section. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Keep a lookout daily for my content. Best way to do that is to turn the notification bell on so you don't miss my streams or videos. But yeah, anyways, been your boy Jivers and Goons. I'll see y'all later. Peace.